Today, we bring you a story that spans continents, secrets, and serious allegations of state complicity. A story in which Sierra Leone may be cast in an unflattering light. A Turkish citizen, extradited today from Dubai to Turkey under an Interpol Red Notice, is now claimed in media reports to have held a Sierra Leone diplomatic passport, and to have obtained it through connections to one of Europe's most wanted drug barons. His name, Abdullah Alp Üstün, alias Don Vito, the alleged mastermind behind the passport scheme, none other than Jos Leijdekkers, known widely as Bolle Jos. In this video, we'll walk through what is known so far, what remains unverified, and what implications this might have for trust in Sierra Leone's diplomatic systems, for regional security, and for justice. Let us dive in. Welcome to CrimeLens, your window into shocking true crime stories and high-profile trials. We break down the facts, reveal hidden details, and uncover the truth behind the headlines. Subscribe now and hit the bell. Stay on top of every twist and turn. To understand why this case is so explosive, we must first know who Jos Leijdekkers, Bolle Jos, is, what his criminal history looks like, and how he came to intersect with Sierra Leone. Jos Leijdekkers is a Dutch national who, in absentia, was convicted by courts in the Netherlands and Belgium for drug trafficking, money laundering, and other serious crimes. In 2025, a Dutch court confirmed seizure of $112 million in illicit assets tied to his operations. For 4 years, he has been alleged to operate a sprawling network that traffics cocaine from Latin America into Europe, with West Africa, including Sierra Leone, cited as a key transit region. Importantly, he has cultivated ties inside Sierra Leone, social, political, and, according to allegations, institutional. For instance, in early 2025, images circulated showing him in a New Year's Day church event positioned behind President Bio's family and next to his daughter. Reports surfaced of him gifting the Sierra Leonean immigration chief, Alyassine Kane. Soon after, Kane was dismissed from his position. Observers have alleged that Leijdekkers has penetrated multiple public institutions, immigration, ports, law enforcement, through bribery, influence, and strategic appointments. In Turkey, Leijdekkers has held residence permits under multiple identities, e.g. Daniel Ernst, and moved significant funds through Turkish banking channels. One of his most closely linked associates in Turkey is Abdullah Alp Üstün, whose role in that country's network has been noted in existing investigations. All of this sets the stage for why, when Üstün appears in the news tied to a Sierra Leone diplomatic passport, the public reaction is explosive. Let's now turn to what is currently known about this dramatic development. On October 11, 2025, media in Turkey reported that Abdullah Alp Üstün, alias Don Vito, and another figure, Hasan Lala, were extradited from the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, to Turkey. The Turkish Interior Minister, Ali Yerlikaya, confirmed the operation, stating that Üstün was arrested under a red notice, and Lala under a red diffusion message, a lower-level international notice. The official Turkish indictment reportedly charges Üstün with crimes including money laundering, trafficking narcotics, and forming or running a criminal organization. The Turkish sources also state that his arrest was the result of close cooperation involving Turkish law enforcement, Interpol/Europol liaison offices, UAE security agencies, and Turkish specialized units, aviation, special operations. According to multiple media reports, Üstün is the brother-in-law of Jos Leijdekkers, implying a familial connection through marriage ties. At the crux of the matter, some media outlets now allege that Üstün used his connections with Bolle Jos to acquire, or perhaps misuse, a Sierra Leone diplomatic passport. This alleged passport issuance would enable diplomatic-level travel advantages, concealment, mobility across borders with less scrutiny, and possibly diplomatic immunity or special privileges. However, crucially, at time of writing, these claims about the Sierra Leone diplomatic passport remain allegations, not yet confirmed by Sierra Leone government sources or passport authorities. Why should Sierra Leoneans and even the broader global community care deeply about this story? Because the stakes here are not just scandalous, They strike at the foundations of diplomatic integrity, national security, and institutional trust. 1. Diplomatic passport integrity and sovereignty. The diplomatic passport is not just a document. It conveys trust, privilege, and accountability. If a foreign criminal can acquire one illegitimately, it undermines the state's credibility and opens the door for abuse. If true, the granting or facilitation of such a passport to a known criminal would suggest serious internal corruption or collusion within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Immigration Services, or intelligence oversight bodies. 2. National and regional security risks. Traffickers and criminal networks often exploit diplomatic channels to transport illicit goods, move money covertly, or shift personnel undercover. West Africa already struggles with weak state capacity, porous borders, and routes that transnational drug cartels favor. Such a passport abuse could amplify those vulnerabilities. Moreover, the use of Sierra Leone as a base or transit hub for drug routes would tarnish the country's reputation internationally and invite diplomatic backlash. 3. Political fallout and public trust. The perception or reality that powerful figures and external criminal networks can misuse Sierra Leone's institutions erodes citizens' faith in their government. The opposition and civil society will demand transparency, accountability, and clarity. The government's response, or lack thereof, will be scrutinized domestically and abroad for legal and diplomatic repercussions. If implicated, the Sierra Leonean government might face pressure from foreign governments, Interpol, or international partners to cooperate in investigations, revoke passports, or even face diplomatic censure. Without a formal extradition treaty with the Netherlands, Sierra Leone has historically had limited leverage, as seen in past reporting on Bolle Jos. The government may be compelled to launch internal investigations or even judicial inquiries to clear its name or root out wrongdoing. As compelling as the media narrative is, we must be cautious. A number of gaps and caveats remain which we must watch closely. No confirmed statement yet from Sierra Leone's Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Immigration confirming that Üstün held a diplomatic passport legitimately, or that the passport was issued through standard process. And no public release of the exact passport number, issuance dates, or the manner the passport was validated. It is possible the diplomatic passport claim is misreporting, exaggeration, or hearsay. In evolving investigations, rumors and unverified claims often proliferate. Even if a passport exists, the pathway of its issuance, official approval, back channels, or fraud is not yet traced. The political stakes are very high, cover-up or stonewalling becomes a risk, so external independent investigations, journalists, international agencies, must push for transparency. Courts, especially in Turkey, have in past instances released suspects unexpectedly, e.g. in the Leijdekkers dossier, raising concern about procedural vulnerabilities. Thus, while the narrative is dramatic, we must distinguish what is alleged versus what is proven, until official sources confirm or deny. This is what we know so far. 1. Pre-2020/2020. Leijdekkers, Bolle Jos, relocates operations toward Turkey, secures multiple identities, and orchestrates drug and money routes across Europe, West Africa, and beyond. 2. 2020 to 2023. Leijdekkers' network becomes deeply embedded in Turkish operations, with Üstün as a key associate. Üstün reportedly under surveillance yet free enough to operate. 3. 2024. Turkish authorities conduct raids on the network, arrest dozens, seize properties. Suspects are detained, released, rearrested. Leijdekkers evades capture. 4. 2025 early. Leijdekkers becomes publicly visible in Sierra Leone, attends social and religious gatherings with elite figures, further fueling speculation that Sierra Leone serves as a safe harbor. 5. 2025 mid/late. Reports surface of suspicious passport issuance, possibly diplomatic or high-level, to Leijdekkers or his associates, raising alarms. 6. October 2025. Üstün, alias Don Vito, brother-in-law to Leijdekkers, is arrested in UAE and extradited to Turkey under a red notice. Turkish Interior Ministry confirms his charges. 7. Post-extradition, present/ongoing Sierra Leone government is reported to be investigating the allegations of improper passport issuance. Public, media, and diplomatic scrutiny intensifies. We are at the early, combustible stages of what could be one of the greatest diplomatic and criminal scandals involving Sierra Leone in recent memory. If the allegations hold that a foreign criminal exploited Sierra Leone's diplomatic system, the damage to national integrity, global trust, and internal institutions would be profound. But until the government confirms or disproves, we must remain vigilant, critical, and factual. Stay tuned to this channel. In coming days and weeks, as documents, statements, videos, and interviews emerge, we will break them down, so you, the viewer, can understand not just the scandal but its meaning. If you found this deep dive useful, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next update. Drop your questions or leads in the comment section. If any of you have seen footage, passports, or intercepted documents, share responsibly. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and demand accountability.